This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Okay, I want to talk to you guys about something because it came up on Drinkerinos and it was like my worst nightmare. So sometimes when you listen to my favorite murder and they're doing the hometowns,
Yeah.
and the hometowns are no longer hometowns, they're kind of like anything goes stories.
Yeah.
And there have been a handful of ones of like people getting impaled by shit, like they're kids and they're playing with stuff and they get like impaled in their face.
Oh
with
my
something.
God. I know that one with the fucking
The flag, the American flag, where, impaled in the mouth.
Yes.
So
I can literally not listen to that shit.
it makes me so uncomfortable. And you know me, and you know that like I got guilted in, not guilted because I want to be environmentally conscious, but I did watch that thing with the guy from Entourage who was talking about how much waste there is with plastic straws.
Right.
And so I only, as a person who loves straws,
Right.
I bought a set of metal straws and I only drink from metal straws at home. On Drinkerinos, there was an article that someone posted about a woman who died because she was walking around drinking her drink with a metal straw and she got like impaled by it.
No.
And now I'm like scared.
Scared of your straws.
Oh my God.
Because I'm just like, that makes me so like deeply, deeply uncomfortable. Like, like that idea of just being impaled by a straw. Like, because you tripped or something and you fell into it.
Oh my God.
I don't like that at all.
I am freaked the fuck out by
right?
that.
Yeah.
I know. And I drink from metal straws every day. Like every single day.
Well, what happened? Did she just like trip and
I didn't
fall?
read the whole
It's like
article because
that's like one of those Final Destination
Right.
shit.
Exactly.
Like you were meant to die.
Yes, and you were meant to die that way.
Because that is the most Bernan's way to
But
die.
then
Like
someone
tripping and
else-
falling on your metal straw.
Someone else posted in the comments of that article about how like more people, I mean, obviously everyone always compares things to shark attacks because people sensationalize the amount of people who die from shark attacks, which is
Right.
not that many. And they were like, more people die from injuries of like holding a pen or a pencil and like walking around than like shark attacks every year. And I'm
I
like,
want to see
how?
Snopes on that.
How? Like,
Holy
where
shit.
are you impaling yourself with a pen? That's gonna kill you.
God.
Just right in a major artery. Anyway, sorry to open the show this way, but I had to talk about it. I had to talk about it because it's been haunting me.
All right.
I found it deeply, deeply upsetting.
I am fucking haunted by that. That is frightening.
All right. My worst daters. And no more metal straws. No more straws, period.
Paper straws,
Put
I
the
guess.
pens down. Do
Paper
not run with
straws suck.
scissors.
We're not capable of any. How did we live before all this?
I know. Well, I guess
Honestly.
like someone had a podcast about being eaten by tigers back in the day or something.
Oh.
Being chased by a saber tooth or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, if you don't know, now you know.
Dangerous world out there. So
Yeah, vending machine
Be
could
alert.
fall on you at any time.
Oh my God.
When I was a kid, that's what they would always talk about. Like more people die from vending machines falling on them,
Come on.
or coconuts falling on their heads.
Oh, come
okay,
on.
That's
I'm googling this as soon as we get
That
done.
is
I want to
bullshit.
know. I want to know statistically how many people a year die from vending machine accidents.
Well,
I
now
literally
probably
know
zero.
Now
immediately.
probably less.
None.
But when I heard this, it was the 90s, and I feel
That's
like
not
vending machines
true.
were far more. You know what? I bet you it is because people used to fucking fight with those vending machines. You know, like
Yeah.
kicking them, shaking them, and if that shit fell on you, what would you do? I think there was a Mythbusters about it. I think there
do
was.
know there's this thing called the Darwin Award.
Oh yes, where it's
shit.
just like survival of the fittest, motherfucker. You were meant to live, I guess.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. I feel like there's been
Oh.
actually to credit you now. I do feel like there's been a couple vending machine deaths on that one.
But you know what? I don't
Yeah.
even want to say that those
That's
people
wild.
are dumb because I'm like, I've been in a mood before. And if I was in a
Exactly.
bad mood and all I wanted was a goddamn Hershey bar,
Right.
and like I went to a vending machine and it got stuck, you know, all it takes is one time of being like, fuck, and shaking the vending machine for it to like fall on you. And then you're dead. I'm a small person. A vending machine falling on me, if no one found me quickly.
Well, we just got done recording our Patreon episode for Crazy in Love movie, and I couldn't think of a movie at the time. So if you are at our $10 level and are getting our Crazy in Love movies, just an FYI, I was given by my lovely husband the idea to do Body Heat, which I've never seen.
I haven't either, but I've wanted to see it, and I knew it would be a good Crazy in Love. So I'm excited. You haven't seen it either, have you?
No, I haven't.
So it's going to be first viewing for all of us.
Oh my God.
That's going to be great.
Ooh,
yes.
I'm
I would say we should watch it together, but I have a feeling we would just talk
do the whole episode
non-stop.
Yeah.
The only way
Yeah.
we can watch a movie together is if we are also live recording that episode.
Chris said it's a very noir film, but the little descriptor on IMDb says in the midst of a searing Florida heat wave, a woman persuades her lover, a small town lawyer, to murder her rich husband.
Which it's like it's a southern town. I feel like it's a very sweaty movie. Like,
I'm
you know,
sweating
it's just
already.
sticky.
Yeah. It's
It's got that sticky heat.
that sheen.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we've had so many people peep in our Patreon lately, and so we are really, really grateful. If you're curious, you can go to myworstdatepodcast.com. You can link up to our Patreon there, but you get all kinds of goodies for signing up, and you know, we would just love it. Like I said, once a month we do like Crazy in Love movies. We're doing all kinds of new content in there. We're developing merch. So
right, and
get
we
in
are
on the ground floor.
We are going to start adding new merch will be introduced in our Patreon first, like before it's introduced anywhere else.
Correct.
So definitely, if you're interested in that stuff, you should get in there. And this is a good time to mention a couple of new patrons that we got.
Yeah.
So a big thank you to Jody Grove, who she has been a listener of my other podcast as well since forever. So I am so thankful for her support. Like, she's just such a loyal
Jody, you're awesome.
fan. I love it. I love it. And then also we mentioned her last week for my Stan-a-fan select, and that's Liz Fritsch. She messaged me on Facebook being very excited to hear her name on our last episode.
That's cool.
Of us standing her. She was like, "Oh my God, it totally made my day. Like, your show makes my Wednesdays more bearable." And so like, I love it, and we love you guys. It honestly means the world to us. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, I want to talk to you about something.
Oh no!
It's
no.
well,
Be serious.
because
Right?
it's an update. It's an update of
okay.
something that we have discussed before. So you might recall we have on more than one occasion discussed women fucking ghosts.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Stop.
This has been a thing
Yes.
on this show.
No,
Yes.
I cannot believe there's
So
more.
there is an update. I'm sure Cassie
know.
already
Yeah.
knows because they talked about it on the Daily Zeitgeist, which made me want to go like I
Again.
was like, oh well, then we need the update for our listeners as well.
Yeah.
Again, tweet at the Daily Zeitgeist.
Please
because we need
God,
to be on that
honestly,
show.
like
I
we
know.
shout them out so fucking much.
Yeah.
If any of you have started listening to their show because of us, I want to know about it so that
Seriously.
I can tell them that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're so fucking welcome. So we had talked about a woman
Oh no.
who was a Jack Sparrow impersonator who married
Oh,
the 300-year-old ghost of a pirate named Jack. You know, that she was not interested in having a casual fling with.
Yeah.
So she wanted to get married.
She was old fashioned.
Makes sense. Yeah, wanted to lock it down before, you know, getting
Before
in
you
there.
get serious. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she has announced that, sadly, unfortunately, the woman Amanda Teague and her ghost husband are getting divorced.
Happens
So,
to the best of us, Amanda.
Love's not real.
truly-
Love's not real.
truly, if it can't work out between you and a ghost, like who can it work out for?
Love's not real.
So she she wrote to, I guess, like people in her life, like her kids. She said, "So I feel it's time to let everyone know that my marriage is over. I will explain all in due course, but for now, all I want is to say to be, all caps, very careful when dabbling in spirituality. It's not something to mess with." I'm like, what did he do?
Exactly.
He cheated, didn't
What
he?
did he do?
He
He's
cheated.
a pirate.
He cheated.
He's a pirate.
Oh.
Bitch.
What did you expect?
Honestly. So if you guys don't remember, they wed in a private ceremony on a boat in the international waters off of Ireland, where she's from.
Oh, Jesus.
Where the marriage would be legal because it's international waters, and apparently fucking anything goes. Anything goes.
Wow.
She hired a medium for the ceremony, and I had not seen these pictures, so
Does
I guess
she have to hire a medium as her lawyer as well for divorce? And
I
what if
know.
he takes her for everything?
I know.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I mean,
You
he
need
is
a
pirate.
medium to
Alimony.
mediate
a pirate.
that ceremony or that divorce. Amazing. So yeah, if you guys don't remember, they met in 2014 when the ghost, and Jack is also a Haitian. He's a Haitian pirate.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And he visited her while she was lying in bed. He's an 18th century Haitian pirate who had been executed for thievery, which, I mean, kind of a red flag.
I know.
Sort of
Yeah.
a red
You knew
flag.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Listen.
think you did know better. So they communicated for 6 months before nailing it down. So not enough. They didn't rush into marriage.
Sure.
It took her time.
Yeah.
But 6 months, no sex. So anyway,
I have
love is dead.
so many comments about this as somebody that is out there dating. So I'm thinking to myself when I'm hearing these stories, okay, all right. So
Where's my fucking dead pirate ghost? That's what I'm thinking.
And if you can't make it work with a ghost, like what
can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do?
Love is
Honestly.
dead. Love's dead. It's literally a dead pirate ghost.
I love it
Yeah.
that she's also like, be very careful. Like, he
When you're-
fucked me over so badly. And it's like, did he?
Did he? What is going on,
Don't know.
Amanda?
I don't
need
know, man.
details. I need the tea.
Amanda, could you write in?
Yes, please. Can you write in your worst breakup story?
Yeah.
I need
Honestly.
My
the
worst date
details.
podcast.
I want to
at
know.
Gmail.
I am dying to know what he did. Like, I need to know. How did he fuck you over?
Also, it really, I'm going to say the whole concept of ghosts really fucking bums me out anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck here. Here sucks.
I know. Thank you. I'm just like,
Right.
so I spend my whole life like thinking like I get to go to this
Some
like
kind of ethereal plane.
somewhere that I get to see other things, and then instead I get to fucking roped into a marriage with some lonely Irish chick.
And no one can see
Right.
me. It's just The Others, the movie, like
Yeah.
for the rest of eternity. That
oh
sucks.
man, yeah, no, thank you. I don't
Never
like
seen
that.
Oh,
It's good with Nicole
it's
Kidman.
good.
I liked that movie actually.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw
I
that.
liked it too.
Scary. Sounds scary.
Kind
It
of.
is.
Yeah.
No,
It's suspenseful
yeah,
with ghosts.
It,
so
has
yeah.
got ghosty stuff in it. You don't know.
It's a no for me.
It's
Okay.
a no, for,
Cool,
no
cool,
for
cool, cool.
Cassie.
I don't like scary movies because I am a big chicken.
Should we announce what this show is? I guess.
Oh,
Yes.
We're far enough in now that I feel secure.
got it.
Do it, Keegan.
You are listening to Myra's Day. I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I'm Cassie.
Yay!
So I saw something on Twitter today that I wanted to bring up,
Oh,
which
good.
is that apparently Jason Momoa is getting shit about his quote unquote dad bod.
First of all, go
By
fuck
the way,
yourself.
Go fuck
if
yourself.
your dad has a bod like that, then I'm fucking
then
him.
I want to fuck your
Come
dad.
on, I'm gonna fuck your dad because Jesus,
He looks great.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, so we can post this on our story.
This is their fuck, marry, kill. We should do the DC guys.
Sure.
Aquaman.
Sure. Batman, Superman. We can we
Which
can post
Batman?
this on
Ben
our
Affleck?
We've done the Batmans before, so maybe we'll pick a different DC character. I don't know. But so maybe we can post this picture on our story when the episode goes up.
How
so if you follow us
dare
on
you
Instagram.
shame that beautiful fucking
Well,
man?
here's the thing about it is like he doesn't look as cut as he was in Aquaman, but he still looks buff.
Still way more in shape than I would posit 98% of the
Absolutely.
fucking population.
You know what? He
So
looks
sit
like
the fuck down.
He looks like a very in shape person who still works out, who's
Yeah.
not doing a hardcore superhero.
Right.
Do you know what it
diet.
takes?
Like that's what it
Do you
looks
know what
like.
it takes to get like a fucking 8-pack you know what kind of effort it takes to get those fucking bodies that it takes.
It's wild.
It's a full-time fucking job.
Right.
And it's way full-time.
And you
their
only do
food,
it when
everything.
you're gearing up for, like, he
Yes.
stays in very good shape, but you only get in that kind of Aquaman shape when you're gearing up to shoot. Like, no one lives their lives like that 100% of the time.
But
But?
is there a small part of you that is a little bit like, welcome to the club, motherfucker?
Oh, shit.
A little bit. I mean, not to be like, no one should get. We should be well beyond like body shaming by this point. Like everyone listen to Lizzo and fucking
love yourself
and love yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a little bit of me is just like, because this isn't the first time this kind of thing has come up with Jason Momoa. Like Ben Affleck has gotten it.
It does usually
and like
come up with women more often than
it comes up with women
Yeah.
way more often.
Yeah.
But the rise of the Marvel superhero has given men a fucking taste of our medicine, because I've seen a lot of stuff about that where people are making comments like that to men, and men are like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, really? Yeah, you think it sucks?
You know what though?
Yeah.
It does suck. But what I will say is, like, I remember when the rise of the dad bod was becoming a thing, women thought it was hot.
Right.
And mom bods were never considered hot.
Never.
And so I was just like, are you kidding me with this shit? Like, men get to have it all. It's like you get to be hot if you're Aquaman buff, and you get to be hot if you have a tummy, because women are still like, oh, I love a dad bod, which I have no problem with. I'm just saying, like, when are we going to get to the point where like men are like, ooh, I love a soft mom bod? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, when are we going to get to that point?
That's that fucking comment that I told you guys the other day that rings in my head.
Yep.
Where I'm like, someone did give me a compliment. Someone gave me a great compliment where, like, okay, I'm a curvier female. I'm not thin, but I'm not. I would consider myself curvy. And
curvy's right. You're not, because you're not a big girl.
No,
you're just curvy.
no, I'm curvy.
You have curves.
I have curves.
Same.
And so, we're having this like great time, and he gives me a compliment where he says, I just really love your size. And I'm like,
and here's the thing, we can recognize that was said in all positivity, while also saying, like, men, just a pointer. And look, we appreciate.
I really love your body is the best compliment.
Yes,
the end.
Yes,
doesn't have to be about size.
That's
the word. That
it's
one
triggering,
word.
and you know what? It's
like,
not necessarily
his fault.
His fault
No,
that
it's
it's
not his fault.
triggering.
No, I
it's
don't think he
society's
meant
fault.
anything by
100%.
it at all.
But you know
it's
what?
completely genuine.
And to be honest, he probably, in every way thought this is a great compliment, because I really do feel this way.
Right.
But you know what? I think that really highlights the disparity between men and women in some ways. That like men, I don't think understand the shit that women go through about their bodies on a daily basis, because women would never say that to each other, because we understand how like triggering.
Can you imagine?
Hey, Keegan, I really like your size.
I'm like, what?
I'd be like,
and then I never ate again.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Oh my God, if it came from another woman, are you kidding me?
You never ate again.
Never eat again.
You never
Coming
ate
from
again.
a man, you're like, I don't like it, but I
what
get
you mean
that
is
you
that you
don't
love
get
my
that.
body. And I understand that that's what that means.
But if it came from another woman,
Ooh, I mean, but just as a
Girl,
general
I
rule,
love your size.
as a general rule, how about nobody say that?
nobody.
Do you know? Just
I feel bad.
No. His
Like
intentions were good. We're acknowledging his intentions
actually
were
here
good.
we're helpful. Now we've become an advice.
We're helping you.
We're
we
here
know,
for you guys.
We know for a fact
Gentlemen,
now that
sir.
men listen to this podcast.
Right.
So
At least
we're
like
helping.
3.
Yes.
Oh, well, way more than that.
We're helping you
If
guys.
the statistics are right, a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But one of the tweets that what came up on this was from Dusty Smith at Cult of Dusty 1. He said Jason Momoa is getting body shamed on the internet today for this picture of him on vacation.
He looks hot in that picture.
Because he's a quote fat now and has a quote dad bod, and I'm officially never taking my shirt off again as long as I live, not even in the shower. Yeah. Dusty,
which
I hear you
again is funny,
which is
but I hear what you're saying, Christina, because how many times have they done that with female celebrities?
Oh, when they're like, oh, she's pregnant. Look at her baby
she's
bump
fat
and stuff.
she's in such good shape that I'm like, oh well, I guess the rest of us are just fucking whales.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
like
yeah.
you know.
Enough with all this.
I mean, and it doesn't matter anyway. Like, that's the thing of it, is like, it doesn't even matter. We're so fucked up by society to think that we should be a certain size anyway.
Yeah.
Who
right.
cares?
Yeah.
No, love your body, man.
Love your body, love
it's
yourself.
carrying your
and
soul around.
also
I really
know that
love your size.
you should love your body.
Christina's like, never say it again.
You should love yourself, and you should also know that only a fucking dickbag is going to dislike your body. You know what I mean? You're going to find somebody who's like right for you, who loves your body, no matter what size you are. So it doesn't
Absolutely.
Matt.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up. I finally feel ready to talk about it without getting unnecessary, legitimately teary
Emotional.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay, listeners, new listeners might not know that's like a huge.
We use this quote all the time. It started early on.
It was the first episode when we were talking.
Was it the first
Yes,
episode?
it was.
Because it was after we were in Vegas. We talked about it because we watched Dog the Bounty Hunter. Christina and I for Christmas.
It was I remember because I said it in the very first episode.
Love Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I said it.
No, we'll go back and listen.
We will, because I'm pretty sure I promise there's a dog for every Beth.
I promise you I did. But in the very first episode, because we were talking about the acid attack.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, you shouldn't, why would you stay with this fucking person? It doesn't matter. Like, there's going to be someone out there who will love you no matter what, even if you have acid scars all over your face and you're blind. Right. There is someone out there who's going to love you anyway.
There's somewhere for anybody. Yeah.
And recently, Beth passed away of cancer. And when people were sharing it on our Facebook, they were sharing it all over our Facebook.
I'm not going to lie. I teared. I teared up.
So sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, I immediately thought of Dog because, you know, say what you want about them, but like they were perfect for each other.
Yeah.
And they loved each other.
And they were just like, I didn't realize, I guess, what a mantra that was in my heart that it had become, because we said it so many times throughout this series that when I saw it was kind of a shock, because I was like,
my heart hurts.
My heart. Like, there's a dog for every Beth, and I'm like,
right, like you lost your soulmate.
Gone.
Yeah, you lost your soulmate. Yeah,
sad. Hug the people that you love in your life.
Agree.
You get them for as long as you get them, and appreciate them. So,
jeez, we
got real heavy. We should come back up with a fuck, marry, kill.
Yes,
right?
yes. So
do we want to
DC
do
guys.
DC? So we'll do Aquaman.
Okay, Jason
and his gross dad bod.
Oh yeah, sickening,
disgusting.
I like his size.
And who else? We haven't done Superman.
We haven't.
Henry Cavill or whatever.
God.
Right.
How boring is that, man?
Who else?
So who else is DC?
Well, we've already done Batman. So
my friend Gina will be flipping out right now. She loves DC. She's a huge DC fan.
Well, there's the Flash.
Yeah. Well, we could go that route.
Who
right?
I think is I love that actor.
I don't think Flash is on the movies though. I'm trying to think Justice League.
He is Justice League.
What was he on the movies?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the latest one.
And Cyborg, I think, was also in the Justice League. Maybe. I know.
I definitely haven't seen
Hold
this.
on.
If I haven't seen Marvel stuff, I definitely haven't seen DC stuff. Last DC movie I watched was that Suicide Squad one, and I was like,
terrible.
That was not good.
Terrible.
Again.
I mean, we could go Joker. I guess.
did watch Batman v Superman. Oh, we could do
Fucking
Wonder
also
fucking
bad.
Woman, who's the best.
Oh, we
Wonder
could do.
Woman
All right,
is the
all right,
best.
all right.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's go. We'll go Aquaman, Superman, and we're going the most recent iterations, I assume.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Gal
we're going Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
I like it.
Okay. I know exactly what I'm going to do here.
Go first then.
Okay, cool. I am going to fuck Jason Momoa because I have no interest in living under the sea.
Nope.
At all. But
Same girl, same.
But hot. Extremely hot.
Yeah.
I'll fuck that dad bod all day.
Hell yeah. I am going to marry Wonder Woman because I will live amongst the Amazons. That sounds great.
Ma'am.
They can teach me how to fight. This is going to be fun. I like it. And she's super hot too. And I'm gonna kill Henry Cavill as Superman because boring. Did you hear the thing about how like they basically had to like cut around him in the last couple of movies because he's that bad of an actor? Like he can't emote. So
He's just like
Didn't
Superman
they have to cut
is
like his mustache
terrible.
off because of the?
Yeah.
Because he was fucking hot in that movie. I'll tell you
in
what.
what movie?
Fucking Mission Impossible, wasn't that him?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh
No, he's a hot
my
man. Like that's the thing
God.
is like the man is
him
a
in Mission
good-
Impossible though.
He's hot, but he's not a great actor, in my opinion. And he has really, really problematic takes. I know we're not talking about the actor, but he's got really fucked up takes on like. He's like, I can't even date a woman anymore because I'm afraid
Ew.
that like I'm going to be accused of sexual assault. So you can
TTFO.
fuck
I
off.
think we're all gonna kill Superman,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Also
Yeah,
boring.
unfortunately.
Even the character, I'm just like,
No, I've never been Superman.
No, me either.
I know.
Me neither.
I'm gonna fuck Wonder Woman. But
Okay.
I have always
I knew
wanted
you were
to
gonna go
live
this
under
route.
the sea.
I
You
knew
have-
it.
You do. You
I
want to.
do. I secretly want to come back as a dolphin. I want to know. I really do think that they're the most evolved creatures on the earth. Their frontal lobe is bigger than ours. It's
And
a
they're
fucking
privy to
fact.
a
And all I
wealth
can
of
think about is
information.
dolphin rape.
'Cause the
Dude, I'm telling you, I really am like I'm obsessed with fucking dolphins.
well, they fuck for pleasure.
yeah.
Which is
That too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're if what we are as humans is like our frontal lobe, the fact that theirs is way more developed than ours, like what, and they have this language that we haven't been able to decipher. I'm like, I want to be a fucking dolphin. I need to know. I want to be under the sea. I want to be a dolphin. I want to be like one of the wise
Therefore,
ones.
ipso facto,
Ipso
you're marrying-
facto.
marrying
marrying-
Jason Momoa as
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Cool.
Communing with the dolphins.
That makes that's on brand for you.
Yeah.
That's very on brand for you. I am going the route of Keegan, which is in that I am doing the exact same thing across the board. I am going to fuck Aquaman for sure. Do
Yeah.
not want to live under the sea.
No.
Totally scared of drowning. So there's that.
And also whatever they used to film like we're underwater looked dumb as shit. Like I was like,
Didn't
this
watch
look-
it.
This looks stupid. I didn't watch it either, but the trailer I was like,
Yeah.
this looks dumb.
It's a no for me.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm gonna marry fucking Wonder Woman.
Hell yeah. Take me
God.
back to your Amazon island.
I'm here for it all day.
Please.
But come on, guys, it's like I love women. I celebrate women.
And yeah.
No fucking dudes on that island. Sometimes it's fun.
You
to
know
I'm
what?
married
they
too.
probably have like the
good
that
reason.
island is so chill.
Sometimes mama wants some dick.
That's what you got Jason Momoa for.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't marry like Gal.
And he can visit. He swims.
Yeah, that's true.
And
And it's an
and
island.
It's
It's
an
an
island,
island,
and
so
also like
we're good.
Gal Gadot could like Wonder Woman can throw you around. Like I'm like I
sure.
don't know.
She seems pretty.
She could probably rock your world. You know.
Probably. Definitely. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you want to take 5 and come back with stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're back. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. Anyway, this is a story that I got via Facebook Messenger. And she says, I have a story for you ladies about how I turned a toxic male into a feminist after he ghosted me and tried to gaslight me.
Hell yeah. Doing Lord's work right there.
Yes. And so, like, this story, I want to preface this by saying, like, this is not necessarily a funny story. This is more of a thing that I thought could spark a conversation between us. So,
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
she says, so about 3 months before I met my boyfriend, she says, in parentheses, question mark, I don't really know what to call him. It's back and forth with both of us, but it works, LOL. I had been talking to a guy. He had just gotten divorced and was a, quote, little fragile. His words, not
For
mine.
Chile, he must be Italian.
So he said he was a little. He said he was a little fragile, which I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I use that when I want to fuck with people.
Oh no!
I'm like, I'm really fragile. I'm really hot and cold. Like, it's not you, it's me.
But
I'm going through a divorce.
you kind
They're
of
like,
mean
wasn't that 2
though.
years ago?
You're like, you don't know me.
You're like, we're done here. Check, please.
Yeah. Check.
So we just talked for a while. We decided to finally meet at a restaurant in between both of our locations. He did not confirm the day before or the day of, so I just sort of brushed it off and assumed he wasn't going to show up. So she showed up anyway, but with the full understanding that he probably wasn't going to show up. She's going to treat herself to some drinks.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nice.
Love it.
I was correct. About 15 minutes after our theoretical meet time, I get a text saying, "I'm so sorry. I am still in a weird place." I said it was all right and I understood. He asked if I wanted to
It's your
try
bathtub, isn't it? That's the weird place.
Well, the thing about that text that really annoys me is like, you had all day and all day the day before.
Yeah.
If you were in a weird place, this isn't a new thing that suddenly happened.
Yeah.
You should have texted
You've been in
her
your bathtub
sooner.
all day. You're a
Listen,
prune.
I've been in a weird place. I've lived in there. I've set up a tent, had a campfire.
Sure.
All the things.
Mhm.
Okay. I have never, ever, ever stood someone up.
Just let
Ever.
somebody show
Let
up to a place.
No.
And even though
No.
she understood
No.
that that was what's going to happen probably, it's still so fucking inconsiderate to do
Yeah.
that.
Just
So
because you know in your
inconsiderate.
gut doesn't mean it's cool.
Right. I mean, yeah, no, because they don't know that you knew that. Like, they don't know that what if she had gone in like super excited thinking that he was still going to show up and then he pulled that shit?
It's
like,
so inconsiderate. I go out of my way when I'm just starting, when I'm like, I kind of like this person. I'd like to continue seeing them. That is something that I say. I'm like, listen, I don't go into the nitty gritty, but I'm like, it's been a year and a half since my divorce. I'm still kind of working through some stuff. Like, be patient with me. I will be honest and communicative with you. There might be times when I ask you, like, for a couple days, like, I just need some space, you know, but that's
But
where
you
I'm coming
give someone
from. And I
notice,
give them
though.
fucking notice.
Right.
And I never, ever stand someone up. That's shitty character.
It
That's
is.
not going
Yeah.
through a divorce. That's
Yeah.
your shitty character.
right. Because you knew you were in a shitty place
Exactly.
yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But you were just selfish enough that you thought, like, maybe if I feel up to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is it's a shitty thing to do to someone.
Yeah.
It really is.
So, she says, he asked if I wanted to try and meet up again, which in the midst of you saying you're in a shitty place, you're like, maybe another time? Like, no.
You know, tomorrow I might feel better.
Yeah, maybe I'll feel better.
Calgon's gone taking me away.
And she says, I politely declined. The next message I got was, quote, "I, in all caps, deserve a second chance. Why are you being a cunt?
Listen, you don't deserve
I'm sitting at this
shit.
bar by myself, motherfucker."
Stop it. Shut
I'm ready to fucking.
I don't care what kind of bad
Flip the
place you
table.
were in. I do not give a fuck.
I am about to flip this.
I'm sorry. What?
Mhm.
What?
A
Oh
what?
my God. Oh, I wish a motherfucker would give me a
Honestly.
text like that. 'Cause
Honestly.
listen, I might not have the biggest balls face to face. I might not have the biggest.
You're going to say that
balls
shit
on
to
the
me
phone.
via text?
Via text. You get ready for that. Have you seen that meme where that chick's doing that video and
Yeah.
he zooms in on her and it's like the fucking longest text paragraph ever?
Yeah.
I'm like, I will fucking end you Mortal Kombat style. They
Yeah.
will bring up
Finish
a fucking
him.
finish him. I will end your life.
Absolutely. So she says, "Excuse the fuck out of me, but what?"
Yes.
She
Get
says,
it, girl.
She says, "Now, in my mid-30s, I have learned I have zero tolerance for a lot of things.
Fuckery.
So I text back, I do not owe you anything. I don't even know you. I accepted the first date mostly out of pity because I understand the dating world is hard after a divorce. Good luck on your path, sir."
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I love a good luck to you.
And
luck,
and
good
I
luck.
love a well-placed sir.
Sir.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Me
I love that all of us are
too.
snatching right
Oh,
now,
we
too, by the
are.
way. We are very snatched.
Necks are going. Hands are snatching.
Snapping is happening.
Yes.
Snatching and snapping.
He then texts me. He texts her back. "This is what's wrong with women. The nice
Okay.
guys always finish last."
What the fuck is nice about being stood up, motherfucker?
Like, okay, this is the most triggering text ever. Okay, okay, I'm gonna reread it.
I cannot.
This is what's wrong with women. The nice guys always finish last. I could have been the greatest thing that ever happened to you, but
Okay.
you're too stupid.
Okay.
You're the one who didn't fucking show up.
Thank God he's a nice guy.
Oh,
Wow.
You're so fucking nice.
Thank
You
you.
called me a cunt.
Nice guy TM, dude, totally.
Oh my
What
God,
a
I'm- I read this and I was furious. She said, I almost did not dignify this with the response.
Yeah,
it was just too tempting. Here's what I sent. You do not get to try and gaslight me into another, quote, almost date. I can understand why your wife decided to end your marriage, as it is tiring being married to a, quote, nice guy. Please delete my number. Go fuck yourself. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Oh my God, Liz, I just built an altar to you.
I love it. So
standing her so hard right now.
Yes. So a month later,
Caliente.
she gets a text from this guy.
Oof.
Okay. So I need your thoughts on this because I was of mixed mind about this. Okay. So a month later, she gets a text from him and it says this. And she sent me the screenshots of their text conversation.
Ooh, receipts.
Love it.
Receipts.
Love it.
It says, her name. I would like to thank you for the message you wrote me a few months back. I honestly did not even know what gaslighting was, but I have educated myself since then and have made some much needed changes in how I approach and deliver questions and situations. I would like you to know that the day I did not make it to meet you, I was honestly excited and was looking forward to meeting you. I slept in that day and woke up just minutes before I was meeting you, before I was supposed to meet you. It may have been a blessing in disguise. I was just getting out of a 12-year marriage and no one wants that kind of drama. It all settled down now. And I honestly would be honored if you would allow me to take you to a Mongolian restaurant down in the place they live. That way, I could make up for that day and meet you because I have thought about how I screwed that up almost every day since then. Let me know what you think. Thank you. She responded. Okay, do you want to comment on that first?
Let's
break that down first.
Break that down. Okay. I'm of two minds.
Agree.
But I'm going to go with what I know in my heart would be my actual response.
Cool.
And here's the thing. I am a person who will always believe in the good of people. And
Same. That's where I'm at.
I will always be like, you know what? My words were that potent. So maybe it's a little bit of narcissism as
That's
well.
exactly where mine's coming from.
Where I'm like, my words were that potent that he did look up gaslighting and he educated himself. And I would give him a second chance.
I'm hook, line, and sinker on that. My narcissism is way too strong.
Now, outside looking in, I'm like, tell that motherfucker to go fuck himself. He messed up. I'm sorry. Like, I'm glad for you. I hope you educated yourself and everything, but I'm not interested.
Agree. Here's where I'm at on that.
I wouldn't go for the date.
I would not go on a date with him.
But
I would say, I'm really glad this had a positive impact on you. I understand how difficult getting out of a marriage must have been.
Yeah.
I would say all of that, but I'm sorry. If you're going to call me a cunt right out of the gate after standing me up, I hold grudges too hard to be like,
yeah,
I'm willing to look past that. Like I wouldn't do it. But okay, so let's see what her response was. So her response was, I don't hold grudges, ... but ... kind of coming at a weird time. I'm seeing someone and I don't know how serious it is, but I'm not really interested in anything else. I'm cool with being friends though. And he said, it would be my pleasure to be your friend. I have been trying to find a female friend for a while. And she said, all right. I may have been a bit harsh to you, but I guess it's not a bad thing. I'm so blunt. I hope you didn't get the idea that I thought you were a bad dude. I just call things as I see them. I don't think she needed to apologize for any of her behavior at all. I don't think she was being harsh. He called her a cunt and called her stupid.
And to be honest, like, maybe I need to go back and re-listen, but did he even say he was sorry?
He said...
I thought he did say, I apologize for my behavior. Maybe I'm making that up.
I don't think he apologized.
He did not apologize.
Did not.
He didn't. He said that he now understands. I mean, he's kind of admitting that he was gaslighting
he was wrong.
her.
Yeah.
But he did not apologize.
Did not say he was sorry.
He did not say, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I got to be honest with you guys. How important is "I'm sorry" as words?
For
Because-
me, it's important. I need an apology.
Is way important now.
I need
if
an
you
apology.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I need an I'm sorry.
I
this
need
is
an
good.
I'm sorry.
This is good, but I want you to say, I
Yeah.
don't want you just to say, I've worked on me. Like, thank you for letting me know what gaslighting was. I need you to say, what I said to you was unacceptable.
yeah.
Standing you up was unacceptable. Like, I
Sure,
need
just
that.
admitting
That
all
was
the faults.
that was extreme behavior. Yeah, because I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong.
The words
I
"I'm
agree.
sorry" I don't need to hear, but the acknowledgement of the bad behavior is important.
I
Yeah.
need an
I'd
apology
rather-
in one way or another. It doesn't have to be
Exactly.
the words "I'm sorry," but saying like what I did to you was wrong, and I'm admitting
Right.
fault for that. Like
Yeah.
I need an acknowledgement.
See, and that's kind of what I read into it, but
Right,
Yeah.
but he didn't say it, and like I do need you to say it. I need you
Yeah,
to say
because
it.
I need to be able to reference it back. Because
Right.
listen, if I give you a second chance and you call me a cunt once,
yeah, no, fuck
that's
you off.
okay.
Well, and she
you know
apologized.
I don't
She
blame-
said the words "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
and he did not,
And then
and
you-
that's not cool.
And then you fucking do it again. You know what I mean? Like
no,
that's
no,
not. Yeah.
no. So he did say after that, he said, "I definitely admire that about you. I think it first read." Okay, so I think there's typos here. So I think when he first read what she said to him, because she just apologized for what she said. And I think he's saying, when I first read what you said to me, I thought you were being a dick, but within seconds thought that you were making a valid point. It was because of that I was able to step back and evaluate myself, correct something that I didn't even know I was doing. I'm making an assumption, but my guess is you're very fiery and you have a straightforward John Wayne attitude.
Please don't compare me to John Wayne.
Please don't.
No, thank
Please
you.
do not.
I see your face because you're stuck on the within seconds. I think he's saying within the second reading of the conversation.
Right, because if it's within seconds, you should have apologized right away.
Right. He's
Yeah.
saying. I think he's saying within his second reading.
Right.
Yeah. see your
So I
face.
mean, he goes on, and there's a lot of him like talking about his divorce and his separation, and
him and more him
and him and
a
more
second
him.
helping of him.
You see,
and
this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because while I can appreciate a person who can come back and recognize that they did something wrong, everything about the way he's wording this, like, because he keeps going back to my wife sugarcoat everything, and I appreciate that you don't sugarcoat things. Like, that's great that you do that. My wife didn't do that. Like. And so for me, I don't know. It still rubs me wrong. So
it's narcissistic.
Right. I think. But however, she then followed it up by saying that saying that he looked into feminism more and has become a lot more of a feminist, and that he donated, which I don't know what this man does to be able to do this, but she says he donated $50,000 to Planned Parenthood.
Holy shit.
Because of the anti-abortion laws that
Forgiven.
were being passed. So
Look,
I don't
here's-
know.
here's the thing that I'm gonna
maybe
say
she
about
really
this.
did change. I don't know.
Here's the thing I'm going to say about this.
Also, is he just talking shit? Because that seems
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
I fully see both of you and like where you're like at on this, but I'm also inclined to give the small win when it is a win and let it fucking happen, because here's the thing, you don't win people on fighting every fucking thing.
Well, I don't think you need to fight. I don't think you need to fight about
you gotta
it.
let people have a win when they feel like they have a win. And that, yes, it may not be every win that you want, but it's a strong enough win to make him feel good enough about those wins that he will continue down that path. Because what you don't want is to put a negative spin on the minor good thing that he did do, and then drive him down a path where he's like, well, fuck it then, I tried. And because you can easily turn somebody back into the dick hole they were before.
Here's where it's hard. Here is where it's hard, because you're absolutely right. You are. Having been on the dating apps, it's really easy to say whatever the fuck you want to say through text. And
Sure.
you do it enough times, and you hear enough lies, because people lie. And people lie.
Yeah, I think I'm cynical. I think I'm
constantly.
cynical.
I never used to be so cynical. I am a second, third, fourth chance kind of person. I really am. And I have not shared all the ways that has burned me bad on this podcast. And I'm not trying to put that message out here to our listeners, like be cynical or anything. I'm just saying more of like a guard your heart. I still am optimistic. And I was honest when posed this question, would I give this person a second chance?
No.
I would. I actually would.
I would not. I would not.
I would. Mm-hmm. In that is my nature to still be optimistic. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything on a Wednesday night. Grab a drink. Because it's a lot harder for you to lie to my fucking face. It's easy for you to type a bunch of bullshit through text.
Sure.
But go ahead and try to lie to my face.
And if he
you know
really
what I mean?
did change, like, good on him. However,
Great
I just
on him
feel
and
like
celebrate that. Hallelujah.
Here's an issue that I have is I feel like women are often tasked with the emotional labor of having to fucking teach you how to be a decent human being. Whenever, like, out the gate, I don't care if you were having a hard time. You don't get to call a woman a cunt after you fucked up.
Right.
Like, you fucked up. You did gaslight her.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
You stood her up.
You stood her up. And then you called her a cunt. And then you called her stupid.
Yeah.
And called yourself a nice guy. Like, and you know, and so
Dude,
and you know what? I'm glad it worked out. And I'm with you, Cassie. Like, I'm like, definitely there needs to be a little give and take and a little grace in these situations because people have bad days. And like, I get that. But I also get tired of women constantly having to take on the role of having to raise people, grown adults,
Who raised you?
to be decent fucking people. Like, it's fucked up. Like,
the problem
it's
is
fucked up.
that we don't know who raised these people, and there's a lot of people who've been raised and are emulating behaviors that they've only ever known in their
and
home.
I get that, but I was raised a certain way, and here's what you do as an adult: you learn to be a better person,
Right?
And then you move forward being a better person. And
but
I'm
did
glad
you
that
learn
worked
all
out.
those behaviors because you just fell into them by luck? I mean, I learned a lot of I gotta be honest with you. When I met Chris, I was way more right wing. I was way more conservative.
Sure.
I was way more
Your peers.
I did.
Sure.
Absolutely. Your peer group and the people that you surround yourself with. Of course. But and that's the thing. He doesn't have those. And so he's literally reaching out to the one person who opened his eyes to something new.
You are right.
So why would we ever discourage or besmirch?
I'm glad that she didn't. I'm just saying, for me,
Sure. I wouldn't go on a date with them, but I also am like,
I think maybe it's also I'm jaded from having a feminism podcast. I'm so truly like I am so tired of this kind of response.
You see it a lot. That's the thing. It's in your face a lot.
Right.
Whereas like to me it's
But you know what? To his credit, I think it does say something positive about his character that he would come back. Because you didn't have to do that.
No.
You
You didn't have to
embarrassed
come back.
yourself.
Yeah,
you
you
embarrassed
did.
yourself.
You did.
And you didn't say you were sorry, but you did come back and say, I took the
fucked up.
time to figure out what you were talking about and I examined my behavior. And that's more than a lot of people do. So as cynical as I am, as much as I do stand by everything that I've already said, I will give him credit where it's due as far as like, that does matter. It does matter.
And I keep fucking flip-flopping where I'm like, he's zombieing and he's trying to get laid.
well, and maybe that's all
I'm
true
just
too,
like,
and maybe
maybe-
he did.
maybe.
None of that's true.
But
and
you know what?
it's
He still
impossible-
didn't have to do that.
It's
He could have reached out to someone
impossible
new. You know?
to tell during over text.
So
Yeah.
thank you for allowing us to have this
man. Oh my
conversation.
God,
Thank
so
you so much.
good.
It's such a good talk to have. And again, I know I can come across as really harsh just because I'm so cynical, and I don't mean to say that people shouldn't be allowed to grow and change and have second chances, because I have changed, and you are right about that, Cassie. Like.
Yeah.
I don't want to be judged for my worst
oh god, my
interactions
worst behaviors,
or like my
Absolutely
worst
not.
behaviors either.
No.
And I really hope he has changed, and I hope you guys are still friends and he's still growing and learning from you. All right, Cass, you got one?
I do. Ours came to us through our website. Sorry, words are hard again, per usual. And I am not going to read you the subject of this because it is
It's gonna give it away.
Yeah. All right, so it is kind of long, but here I go. A Facebook friend in a Murderino group recommended I share my story with you after I was lamenting over my bad dating luck there. I'm assuming, of course, this is probably a
Probably Drinkerinos, I would assume.
Yes.
I hope so. Anyway, this is a very long text message I sent my best friend while leaving his house. This is verbatim. Feel free to edit as you feel necessary. Hope you get a chuckle because I think I'm still in shock.
Oh, I'm sure we will
No.
get several chuckles.
I can't wait. All right. I went on a second date with this guy. First time, he seemed so normal and kind and funny, a little rude, but not like he knew he was being rude. Whatever. Okay, great. This is a guy from
Is that better or worse? I don't know if that's better or worse.
I know. I'm like,
if they don't know they're being rude, they're just going to keep doing it.
yeah. This is so weird. All right. So I get to his house because he lives in Deltona near RC Hill. I don't know where this is. I'm assuming Deltona. I think Florida, but maybe not. Where I was getting my car fixed. Cool, no problem. Let's just hang out. I get there and he's like, "Hey, can you help me and my roommate lift these car engines on his trailer?"
I'm sorry. You're asking me to do heavy lifting. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Do you want me to work out? No.
She's like, I'm sure. But I just stood there and watched, like, sorry, bro. So they got the 4 engines on the trailer and I'm all, okay, weird, but moving on. We get inside and he's like, so I remember you saying something about pork. I don't eat pork. I don't like the taste. I told him this. That's what he's obviously remembering. So I got that for us for dinner. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
So he's no reading comprehension at all.
No. Okay, I'll eat it. So he seasons the pork in nothing but salt, and it is like, let's go get some wine. I'm like, okay, there's lots of likes in here.
it's
Sorry.
salty pork and wine?
Just salty pork and wine. Here we go. We get in the
Learn
car.
to season your goddamn food. Seriously. Honestly.
I gotta be honest, I have no clue how to cook pork unless it's bacon either. So
But you don't, like, of all things to put on
Salt.
pork is salt. Like, it's a naturally salty meat.
yeah.
What the fuck?
unnecessary.
Well, also, like, know your lane. Like, you would never, if you were single, you'd be like, come over and I'll cook dinner for you. No, you wouldn't fucking
You are
do that.
ordering in.
How do you feel about macaroni and cheese?
Yeah.
From a
Also,
box?
like, yeah, we're going out, you know? It's,
Or we're
it's
going
like-
out. We're
Yep.
ordering in or we're going out.
Or you're cooking for me.
Or you're
Yeah.
cooking for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mama can't cook. All right. We get in the car and he takes me to the Dollar General. This must be a small town. Because every small town has got a Dollar General.
Amen, it does.
Okay, so.
Every small town.
okay.
And we're getting out of the car and he's like, do
What
you
are we
want to
going to
split
the
it?
Dollar General for?
Wine.
Oh, no.
Girl.
No.
Where have you been? We're going for wine. We're going to go pick up some wine. We're going to Dollar General.
No.
Are you with
Sir,
me?
At least take me to
Here
a
we go.
goddamn Ralph's.
And-
You're not doing this.
And she says, hey, he's like, do you want to split it? I'm like, I left my purse at your place. He's all, oh, don't worry. It'll be my treat then. Motherfucker, it's a $3 bottle of wine.
It's
Don't
a $3
do me any favors,
bottle
pal.
of wine from Dollar General, which means it's probably been there for how long? There's dust on it.
There are car engines. There is salt pork.
Salty
There is-
pork.
Are you from my town?
$2 check from the Dollar General. No. Sir.
And
No.
is this wine called Strawberry Hill?
Is it Boone's Farm? Strawberry Fields Boone's Farm, the first thing I got drunk on ever in my
Ever.
life.
God.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Okay, so he said he puts it on his credit card, this $3.50 bottle of wine. We go back to his home. Now, I'm not a snob. One of my fave wines is cheap. Like, okay, cool, you're broke, fine. Story of my life. He pours me the wine, and I ask for ice since it's not cold. He says he doesn't have any. Okay, I drink it. He cooks the pork. I start to eat it. It's fucking pink. And he's all, oh, don't you want to finish it? I lie and say I'm full. He huffs at the fact that I'm wasting food.
You
But
eat
I'm
it then.
Right? I'm just trying not to die, you know?
Yeah, no.
You're not trying to-
Trichinosis is real.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. You found it.
You're right.
Trichinosis.
Yeah.
There it is.
Or
That's
like
exactly right.
You're gonna get fucking kidney stones from like
Kidney
all
stones?
because you get it from being dehydrated. So it's like all
Oh,
the
the
salt
salt.
and like the wine.
And the worms.
Jesus
And the
Christ! Like,
trichinosis
no.
that you got. So you got diarrhea and you're
Not
dehydrated.
worth it for not to
No
bang
good.
this motherfucker. No, go home.
Damn.
No.
So we
No.
finish that and head to his room. He gets a fucking glass full of ice water. Fucking ice. Like what? Okay, fine.
He only had a limited amount of ice.
And it was just for
He
his
needed
ice
it.
water.
He
For his
needed
ice
it.
water.
He couldn't spare any.
Couldn't
spare a
Can't
cube.
spare a cube. No cubes to spare. So we get in his room. It's fucking filthy. Clothes everywhere. Empty and half-eaten cans of food. Cans of half-eaten food? Cans of
Like
food
a
out of
hobo.
the can.
He's just opening some pork and beans and eating it with a spoon. Like,
Ew.
ew.
Yeah, he like hums Mr. Can spare a dime. Like has a hobo sack
No,
or
no,
something.
no, sir.
Terrible.
Random shit in the corner. Like I'm tripped 3 times.
How old is he?
And it's not a big room. Then he goes, so can you help clean since I bought you wine?
Excuse
Oh.
me? Excuse
Oh.
me. Excuse me. I'll give you $3 so I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's your $3 for the wine.
Bye.
Deuces. I'm out.
This is like, I feel this at my 19-year-old self right here.
But I don't even know if I date. Listen, I dated people whose rooms were gross at 19, but I still don't think I dated anybody who asked me to clean their room for them.
No.
For a $3
No.
bottle of wine?
No.
Nah.
Ever.
I've never been
Which,
there
by the way,
either.
he bought the wine, so he's got to be at least 21.
Yeah.
So there, no excuses. No excuses here at all.
I can smell that carpet.
Ew, you can smell that room. I can see that room.
I see the socks.
Ugh.
I see the Axe body spray on his dresser.
Oh my God.
That bed is unmade. There is a gaming system remote on that bed.
Yep.
That bathroom for real though smells like piss. Like the aroma of that
The
bathroom.
toilet seats up.
There's
Oh,
hair.
100.
There's hair everywhere. He shaved and didn't fucking
Nope.
clean
Yes.
it off.
Yes.
Dry
I see
toothpaste stain.
the cap
On the mirror.
is open
Yeah,
on
oh,
the
yeah.
toothpaste, just
Yeah.
caked with toothpaste.
There is like a single
It's squished from the
ply
middle.
of toilet paper left on the roll. That's
Oh my God.
And somewhere in the bedroom, there is a half-drink Baja Blast from Taco Bell. In that bedroom.
And you're certain that paper container is going to burst at any moment.
Yes, it has left a ring on
Yes,
that fucking
yes.
like plywood dresser
Yep.
for sure. It
Yep.
is condensated and has left like a fucking
Yep.
ring on that
Yep.
dresser for sure.
God, yeah, this is visceral. Every woman has.
And his
every
Taco
woman has
Bell
been
wrapper
here.
is still there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably. Honestly,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
probably a half-eaten burrito
Yep.
still wrapped up in it.
100.
Crown Royal bag somewhere.
Yes, holding his cards.
Yes.
Yes, or chips.
Yeah.
Chips for like playing euchre or poker.
Yeah.
Poker.
Yeah.
Euchre.
Dude, totally.
Oh my God.
Please
My
let us know how
God.
much of that we got right, because I guarantee you we got at least 90% of
Yeah,
that right.
yeah, we got 90. Easy. I know there was an Axe
It's all
bottle.
the same. There's some fucking like shitty like
Axe body spray.
poster on the wall.
Oh,
Like,
yes, totally. It's
What do you
like
think the
Jimi
poster was?
Hendrix or something.
Yeah, dude, did you listen to Daily Zeitgeist today? I feel like there was a
Was
fucking
there a
post
Jimi
just
Hendrix?
about that.
I don't
The
remember.
Jimi Hendrix poster or
don't
something.
remember.
Yeah,
but-
they were talking about. Yeah, anyway.
God
sorry.
damn. Anyway, sorry, we
All
went
right.
off on a tangent, but I think we're
We
right
did.
on all
I
of
think
that.
we're solid.
Yeah, pretty solid.
She's
on
like,
that.
so I'm like, no, the wine made me tired. I'm just gonna sit down. She's like, I'm too tired to clean now that you gave me this $3 wine.
yeah.
With no ice, I'm just like exhausted.
Yeah. She's like, I just can't. He only has his bed to sit on, and it has a sleeping bag for a comforter. How did we not come up with
didn't
that?
get that one.
How did we miss that?
How did we miss that?
I'm
Because
sitting.
that's bad even for I was thinking like, yeah, you got like mismatched sheets.
Yep.
But I did not think like maybe not tucked in. Like that's what I
No,
was
no,
thinking,
no.
like loose sheets.
Yeah. Like
But
black silk,
but
satin.
but just a sleeping bag.
Listen.
You should be embarrassed. You should feel
Okay.
bad.
I have been, and we all have been. Actually,
So
we've
poor.
talked about how fucking poor
Absolutely.
we have been.
I
Legit,
always had sheets.
legit poor. There's Mike Birbiglia does this bit about how he's like, isn't it so weird that like the less money you have, the closer you are to the floor?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, it's the truth.
I slept
the
on
truth. Truth.
I
You
slept
sleep
on
a
an
fucking mattress.
I slept on
Yep.
an air mattress.
Yep.
But
Yep.
guess what? My air mattress still had a fucking sheet on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It still had a sheet on
Yep.
it.
I don't care like how little that I've had. I still tried to do the best
Oh,
that
yeah.
I could. You know what I mean?
I slept on an air mattress for the first like year and a half I was out here, but that still had actual bedding on it.
So this is not like about like
No, we're
being
not
like
elitist.
being elitist or
It's
like
about cleanliness.
this is about like
And I
taking
guarantee
pride in yourself
I
and
guarantee
respecting
you-
yourself.
Dude life forever.
If I invited
Exactly.
somebody over, if I was on a date, are you
Sleeping
kidding
bag
me?
is a comforter. He's like, will you clean my room for
You-
me
I'm
since I bought you a
trying to
$3
fuck you.
bottle of wine?
I'm trying to fuck you on this sleeping bag,
I know.
surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers.
My sleeping bag, it's a comforter.
no,
It's
no.
just got zippers. My comforter has zippers on it.
It's a cargo comforter.
Oh my God.
Unnecessary
It's cool.
zippers all over
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's cool. Boop, boop, boop. I'm sitting there and he's like, damn, I fed you and bought you wine. Like, that's cool of me. And he fist bumps me. And I'm just like, okay. So he finishes his laundry.
I hate everything
sits
about this
next
man.
to me and starts working. He pulls out his laptop and legitimately starts inputting numbers for his second online job. And I'm like,
Well, I guess he has a
okay,
job. He
like
got 2
weirdest
jobs.
thing about this date, but still rude. So he finishes that, goes and turns on the light, then fucking wraps his arms around me like a fucking koala bear and asks if I like my head scratched. I shrug and he starts scratching my head, not in a comforting, goosebumpy way that makes my head, but in a way that makes my head itchy. But like my head fucking itches him and he's tearing havoc on my scalp. Sorry. So not like in a like soft, gentle way. Like he's like scratching it.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, his nails cut me somewhere. Then he stops and
Also,
goes,
your nails are too long if that's the case.
Yeah.
will you rub my belly?
I don't like that.
Nope. No, I don't know how I got to this point. I told him I had to leave at 9, so I just have to make it to then. So you have to stay till 9? I'm confused.
Well, I guess early. I've been there. Like early in the night, you're like, oh,
You
I
set
have
up.
to. I have to leave at 9. I have a thing later, so you feel weird if it's like
Before then.
7:30 and you're
oh,
like,
I see.
I can't get out of this right now, so I just need to like make it until the time I said I had to leave. I get that. I get
yeah,
that.
Yeah, where you're
Okay.
like, I'm sure you can't fuck it up in this amount of time. And you're like, oh my
And
God, I
here we
haven't.
go.
Only an hour and a half left. How much worse could it get?
So with him still wrapped around me, I have to contort my arms 6 different angles to scratch his stomach. How I expected his head scratch was supposed to be, calmly. And he goes, that's not rubbing, like a lamp.
Like a
Okay.
genie in a
This is
bottle.
This is what old kings had their wives do. What? And I'm like,
You've added a new level of fuckboy to this that
This
I
is
really don't
so
like.
Weird.
and I'm like, they also had the finest wine, motherfucker. In my head, obviously.
Seriously,
He
you
goes,
weren't feeding me grapes before this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and fucking like treat you like a sultan or
like,
some shit.
rub
So-
your fucking belly.
This isn't Aladdin. Go
so
away.
he goes, do you want me to rub your belly?
no.
Absolutely fucking not.
It doesn't matter. He's like, well, you're rubbing mine. And I'm like, because you asked me to.
So,
And he just starts
so they're both
rubbing
gonna
my
rub
stomach.
each other's bellies at the same
Oh, it's
time.
so fucking
Oh.
weird. Wait. He starts rubbing my stomach and then he puts his motherfucking. This motherfucker tries to put his finger in my belly button.
No. I don't like that. I was going to interject and be like,
Why?
don't ever touch my stomach. I don't
It's
like
so
it.
Weird.
That's fucking
And
terrible.
he says, I shit you not. Did you know you can tell how clean someone is by smelling their belly button?
Don't. No.
I think the last thing I ever want to do is smell another person's belly button. I think
I have been with Chris for going on 15 plus years.
Yeah.
I have never, would never, will never smell his fucking belly
No.
button.
I fucking triple dog dare you to do it tonight.
ew.
I triple dog dare you.
I mean, if there was money involved, I would do it because I'm not that opposed. He showers so reg.
yeah,
Right,
he
but,
does.
I mean, so do I. But I have
Soup's
a
reg.
deep belly button. I just feel like
I feel like he's got a pretty deep belly.
I don't want to
too.
get like
I
in
don't.
There.
I have like kind of more of a flatty.
Oh.
Like I don't have a super deep belly button.
no,
Yeah,
you
mine
don't.
is
I'd
deep.
smell your belly button.
Yeah. You
You
can
could
get,
because it's like pretty much just at the top
It's
of my
the
skin.
surface.
you can
Yeah.
get in there. You know what I mean?
Fucking triple dog dare you.
I don't.
Tonight, I hope he can't hear us at all.
I'm about to go do it now.
Wake him up in the middle of the night, just be like,
I I literally don't want to do this.
No, don't.
And
don't
also,
do it.
like,
don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it because
No.
It's weird and gross.
I'm not on the show Double Dare. Like,
No,
what the fuck are we
also-
doing?
Oh my God, that show.
Love that show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway.
between last week's like tongue jamming in your ear and like this week's smelling, like, can we just stop like this behavior with orifices?
Also-
that don't need to
You know which
happen?
orifices are good.
Not
You know what I mean? Where I'm like smelling my belly button or like jamming your tongue in my ear. Does that even what does that even do? I mean, I guess it's some people's thing. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
Ugh. Anyway, so to finish this out, and blah, 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 she's like, and I'm like, fuck no.
Good.
I check my
Draw
phone.
that
It's
line.
9:03. Fuck yes, I'm saved. I hop up, put on my shoes, and he walks me to the door. Motherfucker hugs me from the side. Ugh,
Christian
and
hug.
sniffs my ear.
No.
And he says, hey, can you check and see if my car is locked on your way out so I don't have to go outside? What the fuck in the fuckity fuck? Mind you, it's less than 10 feet from the open door he's already standing in. I walk out, silent. He shuts the door. I do not check his car. I hope it was open.
Oh my God. Fucking
Amen.
brilliant.
She goes, now, additional note, I'm not non-confrontational person. I'm ex-military. I leave when I feel like leaving and have no problem telling people when they need to back off.
Oh, that doesn't sound like you're non-confrontational
No, but she
at
goes,
all.
but this time I didn't. I legit don't know why. Maybe it was just that I wanted to see how bad it could get. Or maybe I was actually in shock. I don't know, in all honesty. I'm still processing.
Well,
Girl,
I'm
I'm still processing.
She sounds young. This sounds like she says she's ex-military, so I don't know. But like, he sounds young anyway. And I know that I have definitely been in situations as a young woman, like as a young woman, as if I'm like soups old
Yeah.
now. But like
When I was 12.
when I was in my like late teens and early 20s, I know that I've been in situations where I was just like, I know this is bad, but I know I only have to make it so long.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to deal until I can leave.
Just gonna
Like,
write
you
it
know,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just write it out until you can leave. How bad could it get? You know,
It gets so much worse.
it can get really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Okay, I got this one from Reddit. Okay. She says, I went on a date this week after taking a hiatus. I got lonely one night and downloaded Tinder for about 12 hours before I deleted it. Been there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know this story.
Yeah, exactly. I know the story all too well. Too many messages about what men would like to do with me was enough. It's Tinder.
Smell your belly button?
What would you expect? Anyway, I had a few stragglers that seemed nice and I was hopeful. So I went on this date with a guy. He lives about 15 miles away. He suggests a chain restaurant because he had a coupon.
Oh my God.
And it
what
was
is it
close
with
to
these guys
his
with
house.
coupons?
I consider it a
A
kinder
coupon
gesture.
and it's close to your house.
I know.
Yay.
Yay. I'm so
I feel
thrilled.
so special.
I consider it a kinder gesture that a guy would suggest a halfway point. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But sometimes men are obtuse. Don't mention the coupon either? Question mark.
right?
His motive is revealed that he offers to quote unquote help me with my car and possibly make out as I have an appointment to fix it if I come over. I redirect and mention I prefer not to do that. Red flag? Yeah, well, we can all drink to that. Red flag,
Drink.
right?
And pause.
And pause. I get dressed up and put myself together. I have some misgivings because of the skipping the date and going straight to his house offer, but I agreed to the date. I get a text when I am driving there. Siri told me from him asking if I left yet. I get at the place about 5 minutes early and say, "Yep, I'm here." He responds with, "Okay, I'm on my way." I've had that happen. This is literally like, honestly, like all of my Tinder dates right now. Like,
Wow. Wow.
he shows up in ripped jeans and a
Oh
stained
my God.
sweatshirt. I'm in a nice top,
And
hair
how?
done, makeup, and nice jeans.
Because it's a date.
You know.
Because it's a date.
'Cause
That's
it's a
why.
date.
That's why you
It's a
showed up
date.
like that.
yeah.
I don't care if you're at Applebee's. Fucking put the effort in.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
I got a coupon for Applebee's.
Oh my God. You know what?
We make conversation. I'm getting standoffish at this point, so I check myself and attempt to ask him about his day. Okay. Get ready.
Oh God. Oh no.
God,
I feel her though, where she's like, okay, I'm not giving this guy a chance because I'm in a mood. And she's like, I'm gonna check that mood. How was your day?
How was your day? I'm gonna try.
This is your one opportunity, sir.
Get it right.
And this is what this guy does with that opportunity. He drops that he just got divorced, stopped drinking recently because of being diagnosed with clinical depression. Also,
Well, at least he could recognize that.
Also, he quit smoking weed after smoking for most of his life. He misses it because it numbed most of his time when he was married and felt trapped. I asked him how soon he quit smoking weed 6 weeks ago. He says his only coping mechanism now is video games. This man is in his late 30s.
This is a lot.
Now,
This is a
exactly,
lot.
Exactly.
This is a lot for
not
how was
to
your
share-
day?
When someone asks
how was your
you
day?
on a first date,
with
How
a
was your day?
fucking stranger.
you're gonna unpack all your bullshit like
He was
right
like,
away.
He's like, hold on, let me unlock this bag real quick. Here you go.
It explodes. It's just like everything pops out of it. Yeah, like, this is too much.
I'm gonna have to get a bigger bag.
And so she says, so I consider myself an understanding person, but this was just too much. I would like to date someone as ambitious as myself. I want someone who makes healthy, constructive choices. He might be making this now, but that's not long enough for me. Half of my family has some sort of manic depression disorder. Let me tell you, it's tough building everyone up all the time. Please do not misconstrue that I don't like or that I hate people with depression.
Sure.
It's just hard. I understand it is hard to date that, and it is hard to like discover that on the first date.
Well,
So
I
it's
mean,
just
and
it was a lot to unpack on a first date.
and
on a first
also-
date, yeah.
there are certain things. It's like, you know, I was talking to you, Christina, about like someone you were going on a date with recently, and it wasn't like he was a bad guy or anything like that. But if you guys had gotten serious, you would have been supporting him financially.
Correct.
And it's not that necessarily there's anything wrong with that in certain relationships, but you said to me, like, I just did that.
I did.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's nothing saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just like you look for certain things based on like your own life
Past
experience that
experiences,
you
yeah.
do or don't want to have to deal with.
Exactly.
You know, like sometimes you just want your life
Exactly.
to be a little easier.
a
and,
little
like, that's,
easier.
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So after the date, he says he brought his dogs with him, meaning the entire time we were in the restaurant,
Wait, what?
No.
No.
his dogs
No.
were in the car.
No.
Ew.
No. Fucking deal breaker. I am breaking the windows of his fucking car right now.
It wasn't a hot day, but that just didn't sit
No.
right with me. He then proceeds to let them go off leash, and they're roaming all over a mildly busy parking lot.
The
No.
worst place. I barely trust drivers for me to walk in a parking lot without
Let
getting fucking
alone
hit because
the
no one
dogs.
looks. No one
I
looks
am-
when they pull out. Like no,
This
no,
makes
no.
me furious.
No, it should.
This makes me furious.
This finally cracked me, and I
Yep.
said, I do not want to see two dogs get hit by a car today, so grab your dog's leashes right now. I then vented to my friend on the way home, and I shot him a text with, thank you for the evening. Unfortunately, I just don't see it working out.
Yeah, bye.
I don't like any of that.
None of it at all.
That's
Wow.
We've had some interesting dates this episode.
Good.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of red flags, really. Where I'm
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
we're all,
Yes.
I guess, kind of finding out where our lines are, and it's easy. I think what I like about this episode and these stories in particular, I think, are finding out where your second chance line ends,
Yeah.
where
Yes.
your boundaries
point.
are.
It's true.
Because I've had to learn to place stricter boundaries on myself.
Sure.
I've gotten burned by giving people
Too much
too
leeway.
much of the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think maybe it's helpful.
And you know what? It's very hard to know where that line is
It's
because
so hard.
you know, if I was single, I think I might fall on the opposite side of the spectrum and err on the side of not giving enough of a chance to people.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't good either because human beings like grow and change and like learn and like
Well, we
for
want
me-
that's what we want for
and,
people.
and that's what we want. And like, so
But-
you don't want to give too many chances,
Yeah.
but you also want to have grace.
Also, there's
so
something-
it's hard to know where that balance is.
There's something to be said too about where you are in your life, right?
Yes.
So, like for example, like the guy that my story was about. I mean, he's obviously,
You guys just aren't on the same level.
Yeah, not on a level. I mean,
yes.
he's clearly in an immature place. He's like acting like he's 20 something,
Right.
you know, some 20 something year old guy
And maybe
with no
he could grow out of
responsibilities.
that.
And yeah, maybe
People do,
Sure.
but I don't want to wait for it.
But also,
So.
too, I've been to grown ass adults' houses that are like so filthy that I can't wait to
Also
get out
true.
of them.
Yeah.
So
Also
there
true.
you go. I
It's
don't know.
good. Yeah. What an interesting. The stories have been interesting. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for writing them in.
Yeah.
Okay. So my crazy in love.
Here we
Yes.
go.
So my crazy in love comes from a patron slash our Stan-a-fan from last week, Liz.
Oh, good.
She suggested this to me. It's a hometown story for her.
Oh, okay.
And when she suggested it, it's super recent. It happened in September, October of last year.
Oh,
So
shit.
it's very, very recent. And I remember hearing about it. Like, I remember hearing about it. I don't know if it was circulating on like Murderino pages or just on my own like Facebook or whatever. But it is the story of Lauren McCluskey. So
That name sounds familiar.
you probably have heard this story because it got a lot of people talking. So
Okay.
it should open a good conversation here. So Lauren grew up in Pullman, Washington, and from a young age, she was like very, very interested in sports. Cute, such a cute kid and a beautiful adult. Like when she grew up, she was so beautiful. And I know we say that and it doesn't have anything to do with anything, but
Dateline description.
it did. But it did like really strike me how pretty she was. She was like, she had like really dark hair and like really bright blue eyes.
Oh, wow.
So she was very a pretty
She's my mom.
young woman. And she was a track star. So as she grew up, she was like very, very active to the point where she got a scholarship to the University of Utah. And while her parents were in Washington, and they were both, Pullman is a college town, and both her parents worked at the university there in Washington. She wanted to go to Utah. She got a full ride scholarship. And part of why they allowed her to go was because, and as someone who lived in Utah, I can say that Salt Lake is pretty safe.
Yeah.
Like it is a safe community in general. And they
I've actually been there now.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's actually a pretty
It's
city.
Very beautiful.
I always say
Yes.
that, like, I always say this and people always kind of look at me is side eye. But it's a very clean city.
It
Like,
is.
I don't know if I've ever been to a cleaner city.
Yeah, no, it's
than,
super
than
clean.
Salt Lake.
No, you're
Yeah.
very right.
And they touted it as that to the parents. They're like, this is one of the safest cities. Our university is very, very safe. And so they felt comfortable sending her there. And she was a very good kid. She didn't really
This
drink.
is like literally within the last year, isn't it?
It is. It was
I know.
like September, October of 2018.
Yeah.
So she started going to school there in 2015. And so throughout like college, she makes friends pretty much right away, and she doesn't really have any boyfriends. Like she's interested in it, but she was very focused on academics and sports in high school and kind of continued that through college. So she spent a lot of time with her friends and not a lot of time dating. In September of 2018, Lauren and her friend went out. This is at the start of her senior year. So senior year has just begun of college. She is 21 now, and they decided to go out to a bar. So her and her friend go out to a bar. They're having a good time. There was a man who was working security at the bar. He was a bouncer. And she noticed him when she went in, and he kind of like kept an eye on them throughout the night. Kind of, she felt like he was making sure she was safe, like throughout the night. And on their way out to leave, he approached her and asked her for her number. So his name is Sean Fields, and she's smitten with him. He's a good-looking guy, and she gives him her number. And the next day, he calls her. Or text her.
He is smitten kitten.
In fact, I think it was like the next morning he contacts her. And so the next morning he contacts her. She's out late at night. He contacts her the next morning. That afternoon, they decide to go on a date.
Damn.
So that's fast. Like they met the day before, and that afternoon they're going on a date together. So super fast.
That's too fast.
Too fast food.
Yes. So Sean tells her that he's studying computer science at a local community college and that he's 28. So it's 7 years older than her. So in college, that's a little bit. It's a little bit of an age gap, but it's not like an issue. It's like, you know, it's
both
fine.
in your 20s still.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, like when she talked to her parents about it, her parents were like, it's not exactly the type we thought you would go for, like a bouncer who's, you know, in community college, but clearly he's trying to like better himself. He's getting an education.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and so
not everybody can afford
and
traditional
and she
big college, state college or whatever.
She seemed smitten and she seemed happy. So, and from what she was saying to them, he had this kind of like old gentlemanly charm about the way that he was. So they're, you know, far away and they've always trusted him in the past to make good decisions. And so they're like, okay, great. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
So they started dating seriously right away. So I watched a Dateline on this.
I don't like that.
And the best friend said they were boyfriend and girlfriend after a week.
Nope.
Ooh,
I
that's quick.
really don't
You
like
don't.
that.
You don't
I
like that.
fucking hate it.
Well,
See,
I mean, this is a
21-year-old me would have been like all over that shit. I'd be like, yep, he's my boyfriend.
21 with no dating experience.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you think that that's what it is.
I've never liked that, though.
I was like that in my late teens.
Same.
If somebody was like, I want to be your boyfriend, I was like,
Done.
Cool. Yeah.
Done.
Let's do it.
I would love to call you my boyfriend. Done.
So at this point, she still seems pretty happy, but literally, like, the thing that struck me about this case is like how fast it progressed. So this is in September of 2018. A week later, they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Got it.
And that soon after, he starts displaying some controlling behavior.
Jesus.
And
that is quick.
she has other friends who are a little bit older. She's got a friend who's a graduate student who's also her RA, but they're like good friends. And she's telling her like, this is not normal. Like, I want you to know that this isn't normal because like you don't have any dating experience and you think that this is normal. And she would say that. She's just like, no, I mean, like, that's, he calls and checks up on me, but it's only because like we're boyfriend and girlfriend and like that's like a normal.
That's what you do.
Nope. Nope. That's not what. Oh
But
my God. He had her fucking number from the jump.
And he would do things like not only asking where she was and texting and calling her constantly, but also, and this was the biggest red flag, was like asking for pictures of who she was with. So like not just being like, where are you? But like, you know, take a video, take a picture of who you're with so I know you're not lying to me, which is a huge red flag and
I
not
don't like
normal
that at all.
Not normal in a relationship.
No.
And within a couple of weeks, he is practically living in her dorm. And he has made friends with other people in her building. They know that this is her boyfriend. So he doesn't have a key card, but he can come and go pretty much as he pleases because people will just let him in because they recognize him. Right. So at this point comes like an even bigger red flag. For some reason, and it's unclear why, Lauren tells her friends that Sean is worried about her safety and wants to give her a gun he has. He's like, I have a gun. I want you to have it. Keep it in your dorm. Now, her friend is an RA, and she's like, this can't happen. Like, you aren't registered to have, like, because in Utah, if you have a concealed carry permit, it's not illegal to have one. But
you're on campus.
And it's not illegal to have one on campus, which is also scary.
If
you have a concealed carry permit, but in this case, it was just him being like, I have a gun I want you to hold on to. And so she, the friend who is an RA, she went and reported it because she's just like,
because she's smart.
And she's an RA, like it's kind of her job. Like, so she goes and she reports it, and her higher ups are kind of like, we're not worried about it. Like, we'll talk about it in a coming meeting. It's not a big deal, which seems like it would be. This feels like
a big deal.
Feels like it's going to be a lawsuit here in a minute.
So, okay, that was September. We're in October now. So about a month has passed. Only a month. Lauren calls one of her friends, and she's completely in shock. She has seen her boyfriend's ID that he left out, or, you know, she found it, stumbled upon it somehow, and it has a different name on the ID than the name he gave her. So she Googles this name, which is Melvin Rowland. She
Captain
Googles
Snoopy Pants.
Yep.
And she's horrified with what she found. So her new boyfriend, his name is Melvin, or her new boyfriend. Yeah, they've only been dating a month. Mm-hmm. His name is Melvin, and he is 37.
Oh.
Not 28.
That's an age gap.
She's 21. 16 years. 16-year age difference.
Yikes.
He is also a convicted sex offender. He'd been convicted of attempted forcible sexual abuse and enticing a minor over the internet.
Oh my God.
Right. So the name, her boyfriend's name, she didn't know his name. She didn't know his age. He was a convicted sex offender. And so she called her friends and talked to them. She called her mom and, was like, she has never really been in a relationship. So she was calling her mom for advice on how to end this relationship because she doesn't really know how to do it.
Okay. So moms, you're a mom. We are not. I'm going to test this out and you judge my mom advice.
Okay. I have a son, to be fair.
Well, my daughter
okay.
calls me and she's in this situation.
Come home.
Leave now.
Yep. Come home immediately.
Now. Get out of that place. Leave now.
Yep.
Come home. We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
Well, and
you're not safe. I'm calling the police right now.
What the mom did tell her to do was get as far away from him as possible, but unfortunately, she was like, she allowed him to come over, just her by herself. And this man was huge. He's described as being 4 or 5 times her size. So he comes over and it scares her at first because before he comes in, she catches him looking at her through her window, her dorm window.
Dude, that is the scariest scene in Halloween to me.
No,
at least.
Absolutely. 100.
That scene where Jamie Lee Curtis is looking and she sees Michael Myers looking at her from 50 yards away.
Window.
It's the scariest fucking scene ever.
When you're at home, you feel like there's like it feels safe. So if I would be so terrified if I looked out my window and saw someone on the street just looking up at me.
No, I don't like that.
It would terrify the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is inadvisable. Don't do this. But he came in. It's just the two of them. She confronts him.
No.
So he tries to say that,
I know I would love to say that I wouldn't, but I probably would.
But you shouldn't.
It's
because it's scary.
I know.
So he tries to say that he was set up for the sex offenses.
Okay,
it wasn't him. Everyone set him up. It's not his fault. Which okay, but what about you lying about your age? What about you lying about your name? What about all that shit?
So many other things.
So she keeps telling him that he needs to leave and that they're breaking up. And he keeps saying like, okay, I'll leave, but then doesn't and continues to like advance on her. And he is so much bigger than her that she doesn't feel like she can really fight him. So he stays that night. He stays in her dorm
I don't
that
want that
night.
to happen.
And in a way to like get him to leave, she's like, you can take my car, just get out. And so the next day he takes her car and leaves. And he messages her and he's like, I'm going to leave the car in a parking lot on the other side of campus.
That's not necessary.
Which seems dangerous. So she tells her mom this and her mom calls campus police because she's like, I feel like he's trying to lure her to this parking lot. I think she needs to be escorted.
Yeah.
So
they
do escort her because she tells them everything. She tells them that he's a sexual offender, all of this stuff. Okay. What his name is, what the situation is. He's a sexual offender. So they do send an escort to get her car and she gets her car back.
Good on you, Utah security.
Well, might be premature.
Yeah.
So she starts getting tons of text messages from different phone numbers of people claiming to be Melvin's friends. And they start saying like more and more dramatic things. They start saying that he was hurt, that he had died in a car accident.
Okay.
They start saying all of this stuff. And her friends are like, I think he's using like a spoofing app to hide his phone number and that this is actually him. So eventually she gets, and so she like looks online, she sees that he's like active online, so she knows he's not dead. And then she gets a text message from another random number that says if she'll be coming to the funeral. And so she texts back and is like,
no,
I know he's alive, and that she's going to contact police about this situation. So she does. She contacts police, and you can hear all of the phone calls of every single time she calls police. She calls police and campus police so many times about this guy. And the cops say that they can't do anything. They're just like...
So fucking frustrating.
They can't do anything until... Because he's not actually threatening violence. Because he's not actually threatening to hurt you. They can't do anything. So then she gets a text from one of Melvin's friends, quote unquote, saying that they have photos of her that she sent to him when they were together. Like, you know, naked photos or whatever of herself. And that if she doesn't pay them $1,000, they're going to leak these photos. And so she calls campus police. And again, they say that they think that this is a scam. Like, her friend went with her, and her friend was like, they just kept saying this is a scam. And they kept saying that they thought that someone had gotten the pictures off of Melvin's phone, and that they were both victims, that Melvin and Lauren were victims of a scam.
Unbelievable.
Right.
No.
So she is terrified that these pictures are getting out. She's 21. She's just starting her life. And she
seems pretty sheltered too, or not
right,
sheltered, because
right.
that has a negative connotation, but like in the best way that you can say that.
Right. I mean, yes.
Right.
Yes.
She hasn't experienced.
She's not like
much
at this point
negativity like this.
At this point,
Yeah.
I'm like you, Cassie. I'm like, leak them. Go ahead.
Go for it.
But at 21,
I'll go for it.
At 21, I may have not felt that way.
I get it. Same.
So she
At 21, it would have been devastating.
Yes. So she pays the $1,000. And then she goes back to campus police. She goes to campus police every step along the way to tell them, like,
Update them.
every update in, like, what's going on. And they
Fucking
basically tell her that she's overreacting, like that she's overreacting to the situation. So
I remember now how this ends.
Mhm.
I hope these people can sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, the campus police aren't doing anything. She is terrified that these pictures are going to get out. So she calls the Salt Lake police, and they say, this is not our jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go back to campus police. Which, can we just talk about that for a fucking second? Because here's the thing. Campus police are not there to protect you. They're
No.
there to protect the school.
Correct.
So I don't understand why, if you are in the city of Salt Lake,
Yeah.
that Salt Lake police
Cannot
would
protect
not
you.
have jurisdiction here. That is fucked up. And if that's the case at
I'm
college
calling
campuses
bullshit.
across the country, everyone should be fucking worried about that. Because
Yeah.
they're not there to protect you. And they failed sexual assault victims time and time and time again.
Oh yeah, there's countless stories.
Yeah. So she calls campus police many, many times, like dozens of times. In fact, she even gets the number for a detective assigned to her case, and she texts him 16 times, like just staying in contact. She is continuing throughout this entire time to receive threatening text messages. She does not stop receiving threatening text messages. This should tell you how much happens in such a short period of time. 10 days after the breakup. So all that shit has already happened within 10 days. 10 days after the breakup, she gets a text that says, "What did you tell the cops? We know everything," which is a huge threat. So she calls Salt Lake police again, and again, they send her back to campus police. And again, campus police say it's probably a scam. It's probably just wait it out. It's nothing to worry about. So then she gets a text saying that it's a police officer from campus police and they want to meet with her. So if she would meet up with them.
No.
And
With my friends.
Yep.
well, even then, she calls the cops and she's like, this is what happened. They just tell her don't go. But they don't do anything. They don't go.
Shit.
They don't
Just
go.
don't go.
Like, because like, here's the thing. Like, okay, you can tell her not to go, but maybe you go check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe you go see who's trying to get her to meet with them.
Because impersonating a police officer is actually a crime.
Exactly. And they say that
if you don't believe all the other shit that's happening, impersonating a police officer is a legit crime.
And if you know it's none of your people, then you should send someone to go check it out.
Yeah,
but they don't.
absolutely.
They don't do anything.
God damn.
So
I'm going to own you at the end of this.
That very same evening, Melvin is caught, and you can see this, and it's so fucking eerie because he knew people in her dorm. He managed to get into the lobby of her dorm, and you can see the video of him pacing, waiting around in her dorm lobby with a black bag in his hand, waiting for her to get there. So she comes up, and her poor mom, and her dad, because her mom was on the Stairmaster working out, had Lauren on speakerphone, and her dad was in the other room working out, and so he could hear her. And they were both she sounded like she was in high spirits given everything that was going on. She hadn't been in high spirits. Sounded like she was. She was on the phone with her mom having a normal conversation when suddenly she starts saying, no, 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 no. You can hear her mom describes it that she gets tackled, is what it sounds like, and the phone falls. So then her dad calls the cops, and is like, I think our daughter's just been attacked. This is what's been going on. Can you guys do something about this? So.
Not our jurisdiction.
At this point, the university goes into lockdown. You can see, they tweet, they put on their social media, the university's in lockdown. There have been gunshots. So the university is completely in lockdown. And then they announce that they have discovered that a student had been killed on campus.
Oh, no.
So Lauren had been shot multiple times and left in the back of a car in a campus parking lot. And at this point, fucking finally, police launch a manhunt to try and find Melvin at this point.
She did everything.
Well,
right.
That is literally everything. The name of the Dateline episode is She Did Everything Right. That's the name of the Dateline episode. Because over and over, she kept telling her parents, police will handle this. They'll handle this. I trust them to fucking handle this.
Don't.
Never. No. You shouldn't. And you certainly shouldn't trust campus police because they're not there to protect you.
No,
not
right.
really.
Right.
So they do find Melvin in a church nearby campus. He had committed suicide by gunshot. So at this point, it took minutes after they found Lauren's body to discover that by just doing a search in the computer that Melvin had been on parole. All of these things were parole violations. They could have brought him in if at any point
any of these things
during any of this time they had run his name, they would have discovered that he was on parole and they could have pulled him in for that. But none of them checked until after she was dead. Nobody checked. Nobody even looked him up. That's how fucked up it is.
I want to throw this table out the window.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
can I put a pin really quick? Because honestly, we've had our own stuff recently where we had to kind of go on lockdown a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'm the title of this Dateline episode, She Did Everything Right. It's we kind of handled it internally.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
We did. And we were prepared to not. If we
were prepared to not. We definitely had the
receipts.
The receipts for sure. But
here's the thing. We handled everything internally because it's very true that the amount of evidence or whatever you have to take to police for them to take anything like this seriously is insane.
I'm when you're scared, you want comfort and you want protection. Mm-hmm. And so I'm you go to your friend group.
Yeah.
You want comfort and you want protection. And I'm I'm so lucky that if you have a fucking tight friend group.
Also, I want it to be said that we did not kill anybody.
Absolutely not.
So
no.
I mean, yeah, it's just I'm not.
I just want to make sure.
And I want it to be said also because her friends are one of her friends, the one that was an RA, she starts crying and she's I just feel like I didn't do enough. And to their credit, the Dateline reporter is like, do you have a badge? This is not your fault.
Right.
Like, you didn't fail her. Like,
And
these institutions that are in place to protect you
and it
did
sucks.
nothing.
her.
It
Did
sucks,
nothing.
but like I never thought in one iota of it, and this it really does suck. I never thought like, oh, like I'm in danger or something's going on, I need to contact the police. Like that never seemed like an option for me.
It's if
Do you know
we're
what I
honest,
mean?
we were going to attorneys first and foremost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that does suck. That does suck. But there's so many fucking stories like hers where it is like domestic violence and all that stuff. Again, this episode is coming up with a clear ass fucking theme. It's like, where are your fucking boundaries and how can you protect yourself? And
sadly, it is protecting yourself.
it is
Because
protecting
it's
yourself.
It's like, especially with these things, and again, you know, I'm not trying to come down really hard on campus security, but like so much has been said about like sexual assaults on campus and how rampant it is and how little is ever done about it, ever. Because
Well, this is the reason why, and here is for those few listeners that know the deets for the guy that I brought up a few episodes ago that was just like, I don't know. We share like a lot of different viewpoints. Well, one of his main viewpoints is that women that bring up like assaults and that sort of thing, like he's like, well, some of them are lying.
that's
I'm
a
like,
hard fucking nope for me. Because you know what? The benefit, sure. I think the statistic is there's 2%. 2% of allegations are false. And here's why that's so low. Because the benefit to making up a false allegation, it's so minute. It hardly exists because they don't take you seriously anyway. So
Correct.
the amount
So
of
what's the point?
attention you're going to get from that, if that's what you want, is minuscule. And even if you do get attention, oftentimes it's negative attention. Oftentimes it's what did you do wrong?
Yep,
And
correct.
it's
What were you
shaming
wearing?
on you.
Yeah.
So like, why? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
So somebody that was incredulous when I was like, I just don't see it working long term. It was just like, I just can't get beyond
No,
that
and nor
difference
you should.
of point of view
No.
because it's not, it's so
Yeah, we're
not
never
right
gonna
that
see eye to eye on
I can't entertain that point of view at all. It's one thing where it's
Well,
like,
I can't trust you then.
No,
I can't
I
trust
can't.
you to respect me. I can't trust you to respect my female friends. Like, I just can't trust you. I can't
Yeah.
trust you.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, they didn't even check to see if he was on parole. They also never checked his parole, so they never checked his parole status. He had spent 10 years in jail
Jesus.
previously. He had been paroled 3 times and sent back twice for parole violations.
How?
Sent back
How?
twice.
How?
And
How is this motherfucker out?
And in a parole hearing in 2012, it's on the record. If they had just searched his name, in a parole hearing in 2012, he was on the record saying that he manipulated women to get what he wanted.
If he had had an Amy, she never would have hung out with him in the
You
get
mean
go.
our friend Amy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because literally,
we would have Googled this.
we would have
immediately.
Googled him because we have the nap. We have our special.
But he
secret.
also gave a fake name.
Oh,
He did give
right.
a fake name when she met
But
him.
she found it though, right?
Right, and she found his.
But just by accident because he'd left his fucking ID
So
out.
she
But
found
even,
it. But
even,
when you found it, you'd be like on that shit.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and, like, I know where to look as far as like I know how to look up court records and things like that, which she obviously found
Well,
that
she
he was.
did.
She
Yeah,
did find
she
that he was
did
a sex
find it,
offender,
and it didn't help
but
her at all.
she couldn't find that he was on parole, or maybe she could have, but that was probably more than she. And she probably thought the police would look for that.
I gotta
Wow.
be
And they
honest with you.
should've.
Here's the thing that my litigious ass does things first. Like, yes, go to the police if it's an emergency situation. But if it's a situation in which someone is threatening me or something like that, my first thought is to go to an attorney.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're paid by you. So they're going to dig.
very motivated. Correct. You're absolutely right because I think that too. Where it's like the police are paid by, it's
Public
it's a whole-
servants.
It's a whole
Yeah.
another thing. And here's the other thing: they have so much on their plates.
Yeah.
They have so much on their plates. I fucking understand. Is a very difficult thing to deal with the public day in and day out, and to have the judgment of what is serious and what is shenanigans and stuff like that.
Well, and to
It's
be
very
honest,
difficult.
I put less fucking blame on the Salt Lake Police Department than I do on campus police.
Correct.
Because as shitty as it is, if it was not their jurisdiction,
I find that hard to fucking believe, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know about that, if it's their jurisdiction or not, but what I do know
I
is
saw
that
plenty of Columbus police on the fucking campus of
but
Ohio State.
Here's what I'll tell you, though. I know for a fact.
I saw both.
But here's the thing. I know for a fact that the school tells you do not go to the police. Like, the school tells you go to campus police. I know
like
that
that.
they do.
I
I
don't
know
like
that
that.
they do. They do
Sure.
it. They do at Missouri State. They say go to campus police.
But I know we say we're not an advice podcast, but for those listening out there, that isn't a bad idea to contact
An attorney,
not just
like if you
law
feel like
enforcement. You should still contact law
yeah,
enforcement.
if it's an
Have fucking
emergency
record.
situation,
but-
like something's happening to you right now, like you're being threatened, you're being attacked, that is calling the police. That's the thing that you immediately call the police for.
But
But
if
if you have something long term, like somebody's threatening you and you want to file like a restraining order, if you want to file something, you go to
Correct.
a fucking attorney, and that attorney is going to dig into that person. They're going to dig
that
into their
attorney
name. They're
is
going to
work
find out
for
that
you.
shit.
They're going to work
Exactly.
for you.
Right.
They're not
I
only
mean-
going to file the restraining order, but they are going to hustle on the police. Like, what are you doing about this? Because they're getting paid. They're getting paid, and they're
with that
going to
said,
advocate for
I
you.
also want to put the caveat on that is a privileged perspective, because some people
It is.
cannot
It
afford
is.
to
You're
pay
right.
a
We're
lawyer.
talking.
Okay.
We're talking about
I'll
this
come at you then,
situation.
because when I was at my fucking poorest, like I said, sitting on my floor eating food in low income housing, poor, that was the time that I needed an attorney most, and I fucking went to an attorney and I said I am under these circumstances. This is what I'm making, and he allowed me to make payments to do it.
But not everyone
So-
will do that either, though.
But that's
Like,
why
I
I'm
think that
telling
there are
you,
situations-
it is an option for you,
Right,
even
right.
if you're poor.
And I
that's
understand that, but
my
I also
PSA.
I don't want to put it on anyone that, like, because sometimes you are in a situation where it's just like you can't hire an attorney. You can't hire a private investigator. There are a lot of people, especially people who suffer from domestic violence, who are very disenfranchised.
Well, I'm saying
and aren't able to do it.
not like
And that's why I'm
hiring like
saying
a
it this way,
private
is because I
attorney,
want you to
but
feel
there are
empowered to do so.
Sure.
Because I think that there
Look
are a lot of
into
people
it.
that feel the way, like I was
There's
poor.
domestic violence centers. There's self-help centers. There's so many things. If you just Google,
There's
like,
resources.
domestic violence,
Absolutely.
like that's near you. There are a lot of organizations doing God's fucking work out there. And there are places that you can get. I mean, there are countless numbers. Like, I haven't had to pay a lot of the lawyers that have helped me out with my divorce. There are a lot of people that volunteer their time. And thank fucking God for them, because I couldn't afford an attorney during this time. So there are, but it's stressful. But if the story gives you nothing, it's like, know where all of your allies are. It's like, not only did she do everything, right, she did.
Exactly.
That Dateline episode is exactly right.
Yes.
She did. The only
This
other
is
thing
not
I
to
can
blame
think of
her. Yeah.
she could have done is to Google all these other domestic violence, like
I mean,
programs
yeah,
that are
I
in
do
the
also
area.
think it's worth keeping in mind how quickly this happened. It was
Correct.
like a month
It's like
and a half.
literally like
It was like a
6
month
weeks.
and a half. Yeah, I mean, and
Jesus.
so I know. I mean, it's a lot.
That's wild
It's a
to
lot.
think about, that it did happen that
It
fast.
happened
That
very
is-
fast.
6
Yeah.
fucking weeks, man.
You're very right.
So,
And I want this to be fair too. Like, I don't want you to feel like I'm blaming. I'm not blaming
it's
her
just,
for
I
this.
know-
I just want people to feel like they have another resource.
and I totally am on board with that. I do think, like, look into it, see if you can find someone who's willing to help you. I just know so many people, especially with domestic violence. It's such a tricky thing to try and get out of. This happened in a month and a half. It usually takes
Jesus,
people
right?
years to get
Yeah.
out of something like
Right.
this. And also, I do know people who were stuck because of financial situations. And that might not be her case, but I do know that it happens, because if you can't find someone to help you for free, or like allow you to make payments, it is very expensive to try and get a lawyer to work for you,
Right.
because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are working for you,
Sure.
which means you do need to pay them, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but yes, in general, I agree with that sentiment. I think that, like, if you can get a lawyer, because
Right.
I'm not trying to bash the cops. I'm not trying to say that, like, you know, they intentionally fucked up, but
Sure.
but they work for the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not working for you.
And
Right.
if they have nothing, well, that's the thing too. It's like literally it's just the threat of an idea of something bad happening.
Right.
They have nothing really to go on, which is
Yeah.
why.
Once people hear the L word, lawyer, they tend to, their ears perk up. They want to cover their ass.
Right. I mean,
So.
and we've talked about that with stalking on this podcast before, where it's just like, unfortunately, it's fucking scary. It's very scary.
Right.
But until they actually try and do anything to you,
Yeah, you can't do shit.
you can't do shit about an
Can't do
idea.
shit. Yeah.
You know? Okay, so with all of that said, the police did defend their actions in a press conference. They basically said that it was unpredictable and unavoidable, like they couldn't have done anything, which is bullshit given like what we know.
Yeah.
U of U, who I think is more responsible, because they knew they were every step along the way, even the RA being like, this guy has a gun that he wants to give her, like all of that stuff. Like
Right.
they were informed from the start. There's a guy on campus who doesn't have a key card, which I get happens all the time. It's
Right.
college, but they had every piece of information.
Correct.
They felt the need to escort her to go get her car. So they knew that she felt unsafe for a very long time. And they did a review because people were up in fucking arms about
As
this.
they should be.
So they did a review, and well, they had to shut down the fucking campus. Like, so there was no way they could even hide from this. They had to put the campus on lockdown.
Right.
So the review concluded that there were, quote, shortcomings that led to Lauren's death. And they concluded that it was both systemic shortcomings in the way that their like policy was,
Okay.
and also individual shortcomings,
Well-
like in the way individuals handled this, which seems like a fair assessment.
Correct.
However, the university president then held a press conference and said, and I quote, "The report does not give reason to believe that this tragedy could have been prevented."
I'm fucking speechless.
Yeah.
I am fucking speechless.
It's infuriating. In this episode of Dateline, they the school wouldn't agree to meet. The president wouldn't agree to meet.
Oh, yeah?
But
Surprising.
the vice president of student affairs did agree to meet, and this fucking woman. Never have I watched somebody
Oh, no.
give an interview where
Oh,
it was
no.
more clear that her job, which I knew that, you know that, but like you don't want to be reminded of it, that like her job is to make sure the university stays clean. And it's so clear. At some point, she begins to cry. And it is the fakest tears, which is like, people don't understand how hard this is.
How
Bitch,
hard it is for
cry
you.
me
You're fucking
goddamn
alive.
river,
you
you-
get to go to McDonald's and eat their French fries if you want to,
Yes.
which is fucking incredible. And you get to bask in the sunshine and the beauty of Salt Lake City, which is something that fucking chick-face can never do again because of the negligence
Right.
of your fucking institution.
And
so go fuck yourself.
No one on the campus lost their jobs. And in fact, the officers who did act correctly, the ones who, you know, responded to the call to have her escorted to her car, got commendations.
Oh my God.
But no one lost their
For doing
jobs.
their fucking job.
Right. And whenever she was asked about that, she was like, well, you could look at, the president has decided to look at it less as punishing those who did things wrong and more rewarding those who did things right in this situation. No one lost their jobs. When he asked about the gun, she's like, well, it's not
I don't know
illegal
if
to
we've
have a gun
ever
on
done
campus.
an episode of this full podcast top to bottom where I wanted to flip tables more.
It's true. It's true. So the report also drew the conclusion that campus police were not trained to recognize or deal with relationship violence. They weren't recognized. They weren't trained to recognize it. So her parents, after all of this happened, they started the Lauren McCluskey Foundation, which funds campus safety efforts across the country. In March, they helped pass Utah State Bill 134, which requires public colleges to offer programs on sexual assault, stalking, and domestic violence. And the foundation, the Lauren McCluskey Foundation, also offers financial support to track and field athletes.
Oh.
So that is the infuriating story of Lauren McCluskey, which was a listener suggestion. Thank you so
No,
much for the
that's
suggestion.
amazing. And I'm always
horrible.
surprised on how much like our stuff ends up on theme.
Right?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's totally random.
It's so random because we
so funny.
never tell each other what our stories are. We never talk about it beforehand. And I don't know. It just seems
sometimes it just happens.
seems
Yeah.
to end up, and maybe there's some reason why, or some person out there. It just makes me believe that maybe there's somebody out there that needs to hear this message
Right
loud
now.
and fucking clear.
Wow. Good
And
point.
so I fucking hope that that's the case. I don't know that much about it. Thank fucking God I haven't been in a position like Lauren had to deal with.
Wow.
Not in that extent.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But-
you know, to speak on like this being on theme, I do think it's an interesting thing about like, where do you draw your boundaries? Where do you give second chances? Because you could give a second chance to somebody and it could work out and they could learn from it, or you could give a second chance to somebody and they could be exactly what they showed you in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Somebody,
So it's like,
somebody
how do you
that,
know?
that calls a stranger a cunt. That's very strong language. It's very strong language. And it's made me think. I'm sitting here chewing on my own. I've always been honest, you know, on this podcast. I've always been honest with my gut reactions or what I think I would do. And this has been a real learning experience for me on several things. And it is making me think. I do want to maintain my optimism. It is important to me to maintain my optimism.
Right.
Yeah.
And my, you know, there's
But where's the line?
The
It's
diary,
hard.
the diary of Anne Frank hits me. This is such a weird thing to say, but it, you know, it's something we all had to read, you know, in school. Where it's like at the end of the day, I do believe
People
that
are good
people
at
are
heart.
good at heart,
Yeah.
and I want to keep that.
I
and
agree.
Tinder
I do.
tries
Tries real hard
day
to
in
take
and
it
day out to take that away from me, and I
No,
don't. But
people are capable of tremendous good
And
and
they're-
tremendous like beauty and growth and change. And
Yeah.
like we should not lose sight of the fact that people can grow and change and be better,
correct,
but also proceed
also
with
be
fucking
safe.
caution.
Yeah,
be fucking safe.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is why
Tell your-
having friends.
Tell your friends where you're going, who you're meeting.
Yeah. Friends are the most important thing you can
Yeah.
ever have, to be honest with you.
Fucking
You
men.
can have cops, you can have lawyers, you can have all the things, but you need fucking friends.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And I'll tell you this.
ride or dies.
That's
Amen.
right.
Yeah.
Fucking yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you're never alone. And if they're a true friend, they'll never allow you to be in a situation that's unsafe.
Absolutely.
They'll never allow you to fucking ever put up with what you're not worth. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I can text Cassie and say, I'm going to go be a hoe at this place. And she will not
And I
judge
will
me.
send you the high 10 emoji.
She'll be like, okay,
But
go
send
get
me
it.
your
Safety
shit.
check.
Yeah.
So safety check. She'll
Where are
safety
you
check
going?
me the next morning. So like, get you a ride or die who's not going to judge you for being a hoe, because sometimes you fucking want to be, and it's fucking incredible. So go do you,
Yeah.
but also be fucking safe.
Yep.
Be safe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, I'm serious, guys. There's nothing wrong with when I get into a Lyft or an Uber, I screenshot that
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
I screenshot my
Send it to
driver
Chris.
and his, you know, his or her license plate, and I send it to my fiance because I'm just like,
Same.
there's you can't live your life in complete fear where you never do anything.
Correct.
But also, the world is scary, and you have to know where those lines are for yourself.
And you do not want to be a podcast.
Right. You don't want to end up
You
on
don't want to be
podcast,
to
right?
live and die in LA. You don't want to be Dateline eulogized. Like, fucking
No.
tell your friends where you're going. So, if you have crazy love stories or shorties or lots of fun stuff,
We're not going to share a positive, good thing that we
oh
watch.
shit, yeah.
Have you been
we
listening to
should.
What Are You Watching?
Well, yeah, we're at 210 right now.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Well, we got a lot to cut out in the middle. That whole.
We have 3 minutes.
Okay.
shit,
I'm watching Big Little Lies right now. I have been watching it. I forgot to mention it last time we recorded, which should kind of tell you how I'm sort of feeling about this new season.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm like, it's fine.
That's exactly what I've
But
heard.
it didn't need to,
fine.
it didn't need to happen.
They hyped it up so much with Meryl Streep being on it
Well,
that
she's
I was
good.
just like,
she's good. But like it just didn't need to happen. Like I read
Yeah.
the book and I was just like, we good.
it's done.
Like we didn't
Yeah,
need a
it's done.
second season.
Yeah.
But am I going to watch it until the end of the season? Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, I am. So
You know what I'm excited about? I haven't started watching it yet, but I just saw it came up today, and you were Harlots.
Harlots season 2 is back?
Starts
Yeah.
season 3.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
season
yeah.
3.
Season
Yes.
3 is it.
Oh,
Here.
I'm down.
It
I'm
just
so down.
First
Yes.
episode.
Oh, and you
Yes.
and me are obsessed with Culpable.
Oh.
I started it today.
My
I did start it
God.
today.
I'm caught up.
Those accents. I want to hang out with
Sweet
Mama
baby
Ray
Jesus.
so much.
That motherfucker was murdered.
I mean, so obviously that it's almost like comical. I'm like, what?
I'm Phoebe
the
Judge,
fuck?
and this is criminal.
It is so criminal.
It is.
I can't even.
Criminal.
So yeah. If you have stuff that you're standing that you think that we would love, please let us know at myworstdatepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our one-stop shop of a website at myworstdatepodcast.com. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your experiences. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know you. So please reach out. And if you love us, please tell a friend and
Join
do
our
all the
Facebook
damn
group.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we love you so much. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media podcast.